Hey everybody, welcome. Cyber Knights Flashpoint info incoming. So, we've got a new class, the Wireghost. So we're going to talk about it. This is not going to have a ton, it's going to have gameplay, but it's mostly going to have looking at Wireghost and how it does. So we'll look at the Wireghost and we'll take them on our first mission with them and start telling you what we think about it. Now, the class just came out, so we haven't had a lot of time to, if you will, check out exactly how they're going to work and everything. So we'll be checking it out together. So let's get into it. This is such a great game. I can't believe how effective the devs have been at delivering cool stuff for us. So this is a brand new team. Just did that so we could jump him in very quickly. We'll go back to other gameplay at some point and probably bring them in through another way to take a look at the in-game choice we have. Let's go ahead and dive in before we go train people or doing everything else and the rest of the stuff that we're going to do. Let's just take a look at the Wireghost himself. So another substitute or chain or option for our hacker class. This gives us somebody that can go on hacker missions, do those kind of things. It's a different class. So that's fantastic. Just like we have choices in ranged or choices in melee, we've now got choices in hacking. He obviously stats wise, is high tech and reaction and low everything else to get going. Different starting kinds of things. Ex-student cyber criminal gives us slightly different ways to do things. With Grocket also gives us some tech and legwork success. So, pretty good to get going. Los Zagales faction, which still lets them operate there, but pretty sure Jupiter Group is barred from him because he burned all the bridges when he left them. There's also some owed out there. There's a protection debt. So, he owes Bill Drake, so that's out there. Also, there's a corporate citizen that he definitely doesn't like, and he wish he'd finished killing her. So she's out there as well. Cool. All right. So that's some of the basic things in there. Let's get into what everybody wants to see. So starting talents are pretty cool. One thing about this class is that they don't. They're not. They're not a node-based hacker. In other words, they don't have to go to a hacking node or things like that to be able to get in. They got a lot of ways to get in and disable things and to actually get into the matrix through security devices. So security siphon is their ability to disable a security device, but it also scans if that security device, which most of them are and most missions are connected to a matrix host, then the SCU gets scanned. And so again, you can, similar to other ones, you can target again to further delay the reactivation. Skipjack is a cool one because it targets a security device within 15 meters, and if it's connected, it initiates a hack connecting directly to the security controller that's already there. And now this hack suffers a 12% connection burn, so you're not going to get a lot of time to do stuff while you're connected here like you might with another kind of device. So, but you'll get in from anywhere basically and be able to get to work on it. So you can imagine if you actually had a team working on this of Wireghost and a hacker, you'd be able to do a lot of cool stuff. So Spectral Dagger now enters another new thing for the Wireghost, which are spectral tokens. So you get to buff your avatar with 3 spectral tokens, which basically will prevent an IC from increasing QSEC whenever you kill one of those ICs. So instead of disabling them and going around them and things like that, you just blow them away. And so when you attack them and blow them away, instead, normally that's a real big hit on your QSEC tally. But in this case, if you've got Spectral Dagger tokens, no tally increase. The last and final starting ability, Phantom Slide, instantly hops Matrix node down a straight line of connections. So think of it like being able to jump from the first one to the third or fourth one, wherever far, however far down they are. And you'll get more matrix AP, and any IC that are in the entire node are going to take 10 damage. So you'll immediately start doing that. Now, if you also have spectral tokens out there, which by the way will prevent that damage from those kind of things, you'll also be doing more damage. So if you had 3 tokens and you went through 3 nodes, for example, you do 30 damage to those nodes, right? You'd take one of them off, but all of them would be prevented from actually reporting to the tally. And notice it says if any spectral tokens are active, use 1 token. So you would use one of those tokens to actually engage in the process. So those are your starting talents, but let's go take a look at the actual tree. Bloop. All right, here we are. 3 main regions: Havoc, Spectral, and Infiltrate along the way. I know most people like to go up this left to right, but I'm going to go right up the middle because that's where we start. So the first one in here, and some of these we will have already talked about, is Skipjack, right? Which is the one that basically lets us initiate a hack with any security device. So what else can we get related to that as we walk through this? Well, basically we can get reduced by 1 turn, reduced by 2 turns, and then we can get extra charges. We can get the range increased. So originally it's 15. When you do that one, it's 25 meters. That's a long way. So it's pretty much anything that you're next to. And then you can reduce the AP cost down, which gets it to 0. So these two right along the way is going to let you do it immediately. These start adding, wait time for recharge, which is normally 5, goes to 4, goes to 3, etc., etc. So great talent. I can see this getting a lot of use out of that. So the other one that we've actually got is Phantom Slide. Again, we talked about these in the basic one, but this is another great one because this gives you the ability to get in and quickly get to a node that's going to make a difference along the way. So again, super useful. What happens in here, you can basically reduce the wait time. So to get it down to 3, to get it down to 2, and then get another charge. It instantly gains extra repair. So this basically cuts down on the connection drain that you're getting from being connected through that security device. This gives you more AP to get through things, and this gives you some more temp health on your deck. So again, all fantastic things for what you can do. The nodes, what do you get? Very similar to hacker gains as you go through these different node things. Just getting up, you're already in this one, so there's actually no node between these two, and a passive talent called Crash Pad. So you can imagine that as the Wireghost, you're probably going to get booted out because the way connection health works and stuff. You're going to probably be in a bad situation, much more than hackers tend to get. So dump shock's really going to be an issue. So Crash Pad gives you, whenever you're about to suffer dump shock, you get signal drop, protects you, right? Including the action point loss and debuff. So having this active is pretty important, I think, for the Wireghost. Again, haven't had a lot of playtime, so we'll have to see how that works in practice. But theory crafting says this is going to be pretty useful. This is going to reduce it down to 2 turns. This will add another charge, and this will add another charge. So again, the more you're going to be, going in, the more you're going to want something like Crash Pad. So now we get to break into 1 or 2, right, in terms of the way the path works here. And so Q protocol. So this, once you get down on your connection health, you can start to gain spectral tokens and repair your connection. This is going to let you stay connected longer and keep the QSEC tally down as you're tinkering with the matrix and everything. Things happen as you go up, reduce the recharge down to 3, more connection repair, an extra charge, an extra spectral token, and an extra total charge. So again, I'll leave the min-max folks to come up with what the optimum breakdown of each of those are. But again, roleplay wise and just keeping alive wise, looks like it's going to be a really important talent. Finally, we get to Trap Keeper, which this will instantly capture and destroy one trap without causing any IC reaction or the trap to trigger. So if a trap's captured, you actually gain spectral tokens and more matrix. If a trap doesn't exist, the talent charge gets used. So you're gonna have to guess. You're not gonna have time to scan everything as a Wireghost. And so this is a little bit of a gamble, but as you all know, there are a lot of traps, everywhere. So probably going to be in your base. Got 2 trees that go down here. It starts with 2 charges, by the way. So you can reduce the weight. You can then reduce the cost, and then you can get another charge. Here you can get another charge. You can free 25% of the IO, right, that is in there, and you can then do another 25%, which is great. So again, this is going to be a fun one, as we go through things. Finally, at the top, extra item carry. So more juice for your hackers, for your Wireghost, as they go through and do it. Get some more juice. Okay, left, right. Who do we do? I love infiltrate, so we're going to go right, and then we'll get over to the havoc tree. So let's go to the infiltrate tree. The first one, we got a spectral dagger, which we talked about. This is where those spectral tokens get generated to reduce your QSEC and protect you while you destroy ICs as you go through as a Wireghost. So here you can actually get the wait time reduced. You can get duration increased. So, these will last longer, 2 turns instead of 1 from that one. And now you can get extra charge. Down here, you get an extra token, right, which will take you up a level. And here, it will give you more matrix AP. And here, you'll get another token, right? So you could have 5 spectral tokens at this point. All right. Again, you can look through some of the tree choices that we have here. Let's go all the way to the extreme and talk about unlink. So here you can instantly unlink and teleport any active IC to another random node in the host without causing reaction or anything. So, and when you do it, if you unlink it, you get an extra spectral token and you repair parts of your connection. So think of this as clearing your path, right? So if you know you're going to go down a particular path, particularly if you're going to jump down it or any of those things, or you're going to end up where you have that trap, or you see a particular node that you want to try and get to, you can remove the trap this way by sending over. Again, if it doesn't exist, it's the talent charge is going to get used. This is a 1 charge until you gain another charge, until you reduce the weight. You can repair your connection, and it can gain 1 max charge. So again, pretty fantastic. I think this is going to be very interesting and give you a lot more strategic options when you're trying to move through things. Pin drop. Instantly teleport to a new randomized node within the matrix host and repair your connection and cause 10 damage per spectral token. So you can see a lot of these things are going to rely on you having some spectral tokens in the inventory in there. This will let you teleport around, but not be in control of where you teleport around to. So again, you're going to put yourself in some interesting positions, but remember, you're always going to have limited time, super limited time, not like planning out and being methodical and tracking through things like you do as a current hacker. This is going to be attacks of opportunity that happen when you go into things. And so, got to kind of think about that as you move through it. So what do we get? We get wait time, an extra charge, and an extra charge. And down here, we get more repair. That repair is always going to be important, right? This is cool because the avatar gains an extra relocation and it avoids all of the nodes for the buff's duration. So that means it's going to send you to the node that you want to go to, or probably. So that's a much, much better thing. So coming down this lower path first, which is going to, give you repair and then give you the ability to get it right as soon as you get in there, that's probably pretty valuable. And again, more repair again down at the bottom. So it's going to be very interesting to see, how you make decisions around which one of these you want to do. So interesting modes up here. You can get, a lot of extra hacking points as you're moving into these. Let's take a look at deck bending first. This immediately repairs 40% of the connection. So this is your heal, right? So it frees 50% of Cyber Deck IO max and uses all the spectral tokens. So there is a cost, but basically it's your heal. As you think about it. Now, 10, you can see the cost appears fairly high. Um, you can reduce the weight. You can get an extra charge. You can free up, the CyberDeck IO. It can also cause you stress or additional injury. You can repair more connection, and again, free more CyberDeck IO. So a good heal. There's some cost to it, but when you need it, you're going to need it. And finally, there's cash burn. Cash burn damages every IC in the node with 38 to 50 and uses up to 2 spectral tokens. So fantastic way to blast your way, through that part of the matrix you're in. You get an extra charge. You get the AP cost reduced by 10, which 0 would be the answer at that point, which is fantastic. Get an extra charge. More damage. Fantastic. You notice it goes to 50 to 62 from 38 to 50. And then, depending on how many spectral tokens, it could do it. So if you've got 5 spectral tokens, you could jack this up to 88 to 100, through that process. So great stuff in the infiltrate tree. I think it's all going to be a lot of fun. Let's go take a look at Havoc over here. We'll go inner to outer. So Ghost Distortion. So this, I was a little interested when I read this. I'm like, hey, should this be an infiltrate? But I think the interesting thing is infiltrate in this mode is all about infiltrating the matrix, as opposed to infiltrating in the physical world. So Havoc, cool name, but this is an infiltration physical world tool, I think. So engage ghost distribution to become undetectable, sight, sound, and gain 10% crit chance. Right, canceled by any attack. Doesn't affect laser wires, pressure pipe, motion detectors. But how cool is that, right? So now, from a hacker standpoint, you can become undetectable and move through things in the physical world. This reduces. So recharge weight has reduced, cost to 0, extra charge, weight reduction, and you get an extra move to actually move undetected as you go along through things. So super helpful in the hacker's real world, physical world actions. All right, I like this one. Kill switch. Target any proximity miner laser wire within 20 meters and flips its protocols so it attacks any enemy agent and ignores mercs for the next 2 turns. This is so cool because, if you've ever been trapped by a bunch of mines, or just had to get through laser wires and just had to eat the cost, or your other party members had to eat the cost. Now somebody's got a way to turn it on the other guys. So when you're being chased and you want to watch those guys run through the minefield and take the damage, here you go. This is how you do it. So this moves it up to 30 meters, right? Basically, gives you an extra charge, Again, this would take it to 40 meters. If you had both. And now the duration stays for 3 turns on things, which is a long time. If there's anybody coming through it, they're coming through it in 3 turns. This one jacks it up again, so 4 turns if you really wanted to do that. So technically, you could have your Wireghost go in and literally set a whole bunch of traps by switching, things, and then run everybody through them. It's going to be some great strategic decisions that you can make around there. All right, so manifest trace. Ping loot manifest within 25 meters, revealing the exact contents of loot boxes within 10 meters of the target point. All right, look, I don't know how many times you guys have been running around looking for one specific file that's left that you need for a mission or things like that. But this will now let you send your Wireghost in as a, if you will, electronic scout around the loot boxes to where they don't have to go all the way in to get the loot box to figure out if that's the one you need to get through the mission. So again, situational, no question, not useful every minute of every day. But again, if you're on a specific retrieval mission, and you want to get that done as fast as possible and get in and out, and you're, into playing super stealth like I am, like I love making it through missions where nobody knows I'm there. This is one way to really help out on those retrieval missions to do that. Range increase up to 40 meters. Okay, that is a long way, right? Get an extra charge and an extra charge. What else could you ask for as a talent? Great talent to do it. All right, last one here, radio silence. So basically, this turns off their radios, which I just, from a role play standpoint, I'm like, how cool is that? It's like you hear the guys going, "Is there a glitch in my comms?" They already say that a lot. Can you talk to Sec AI? Now, for sure, now you know why they can't do that. They can't do that because there's a Wireghost loose somewhere. So basically, he's going to debuff it, and he can't make any retorts. It also cancels Overwatch, which is super useful a lot of times if you're trapped and need to get out. Again, reduces it down, increases the range to 24 meters, would increase the range by another 6 to 30 meters, and then give you an extra charge. Down here, you get more evasion, so you get another cool debuff on top of everybody. Plus 10 crit, another debuff on top of everything, and another 5% evasion to take it to minus 10. So you're minus 10, minus 10, makes total minus 10 for that, plus 10 crit, and you basically cancel Overwatch. So again, great talent. I'm super looking forward to getting into it and using all of these talents. A couple of other notes. Internally, from your implants, you can't have a multi-class. You can't be a hacker and a Wireghost. So the implants take the same slot. So you have to pick as you do those. A lot of multi-class actions for this particular one. I'll leave it up to later gameplay before we come back and talk about all of that. Another note is the Wireghost in the contacts over here. So if you had an original Wireghost that was one of your folks, like Potato here, Potato has now become a Net Wraith. As you can see here, he is no longer a Wireghost, he's a Net Wraith. So that way there's no confusion between Wireghost as a character class and a contact class like there used to be. So Net Wraiths are now a thing in your contacts, and Wireghost back over in your main list of folks. So Bandai, again, we'll see how he plays. I'm getting ready to dive into some gameplay and things like that. I'll probably make another video with the Wireghost gameplay. So be on the lookout for that. Thanks for joining us for this quick first look at the Wireghost, and I'll see you in cyberspace.